welcome to Prayer Cave TV, the Uchao Don't Break Show. My name is Eric Kimondo, and in studio with us today is Ken Kambo, the Managing Director of Goldright Property Agency, and he's here to take us through the episode of Inside the World of Property Management. Everything that you need to know. The knowledge is going to be given right here. Karibu sana. TV Studios.
Asante sana.
Start by saying hi to our viewers.
Yes.
And also greet your family.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Eric, for having me here. My name is Ken Kambo, it's just like you said. And I'm married. All right? And I have the evidence of marriage in my finger.
Very important.
Yes, married to one wife, a woman. Yes, for the last 7 years. And God has really blessed us and kept us and gifted us with 2 beautiful kids. One by the name Malka, which means the queen in Hebrew, and Melki, a boy, which means the king in Hebrew.
Amazing.
So I have king and queens that the Lord has gifted me with, and I love them so much. Wherever they are and they are watching me, please know Ken really loves you, and I thank God for you.
Wow.
And to our viewers, karibuni sana, even as we dive into this world of property management.
Wow.
For the property owners and also for tenants. Yes, if you're in that category, this is
your episode.
Yes.
How long have you done this thing, property management?
I have been in this industry for the past 10 years. I started in 2013. Wow. In 2023 it will be my 10th year. So I might be having an anniversary for the 10 years.
A decade worth of experience.
Yes.
And we want to learn it all in 1 hour. So let us get started.
Thank you so much.
What is property management? And who are property managers? And what are their responsibilities?
Wonderful. And even before I answer your question, I'm really happy that I'm here. Actually, today I was even saying, today is the day I'm going to receive my laughter dose that we always see at Uchao. So today I'm getting my laughter dose today. It is my time. Thank you for having me here. And now about property management. What is property management? This is actually, in simple terms, overseeing properties in general. And when I talk about properties, I mean residential properties, commercial properties. We have even others they call industrial real estate. All those, every property, and even lands. Yeah? That is what is all about. Seeing the operations of that property, making sure that that property is in good shape, is in it's habitable. All that is under property management, and that is what is property management in its simplest form. And so the property manager is now the person who has been given that contract by the property owner, or what we call them also the investors, or commonly known as the landlords. Those are the property manager, the people who are contracted by them to help them. I always say property managers are like housewives or housekeepers, because they really make sure that the property itself is habitable for both the property owner. Is actually the property owner is getting in his investment back, and also the tenant is getting comfortable to the point of forgetting to own a home. So that is the work of the property management. And so there are so many responsibilities that are under that. And one of the responsibilities, rent collection. All right? Rent collection is one of the most important part of the property manager, to help the investor or the property owner in collection of rent. And there's a process, by the way. I know we will going to talk about rent collection process as we go on. There's also overseeing the property itself, the building. All right? Because the building, you need to keep supervising and seeing if the building still has the integrity. Have you ever had cases recently of, building developing cracks here and there? It is actually the failure also of a property manager not seeing or rather supervising or even going and checking to see if the property is still in good shape, and also even advising the property owner on what needs to be done. So those are just of the responsibilities that comes with property management. They are huge, and there are many. There are many of them, but I know as we go on, we are going to be touching them one by one.
Amazing. Talk to us about the relationship between the property owner and the tenant.
All right, wonderful. The other thing, and it's another responsibility of a property manager, is to create a relationship between him, the tenant, and the property owner. So he is the mediator. I'll be like referring him to so many, the helper and all that. He comes in between the property owner and the tenant. And so the relationship between him and the tenant should actually make sure that the tenant pays rent without any push. How? The property manager must make sure that there's a relationship between the two of you, and this relationship is through communication. I always tell tenants this way: if you, by any chance things go in a different way than you expected, and you don't have rent, and fifth is actually today, and you have not paid, and you know that I will send you a message or call you to ask for rent, please call me before I call you. You know why? Because the moment you communicate to me, the same way we do in marriage, the moment we communicate, in communication in marriage should happen between you and the tenant. That's why you hear, and it's in Kenya, agents are hated. Have you ever heard, a tenant goes to a property, and the first question, even before they view the property, they want to move in, they'll ask you, is it property does this property has an agent? Why? Because of the experiences that the tenants have, received from agents. There's so much, push. There are people who are even lost their household items and all that because they missed a relationship that should have been built. And that is before I even correct your rent. I need to have a relationship with you. I need to know, because sometimes, and I can give even a case study. A tenant comes and tells me, I've not paid rent because I have somebody who is admitted in hospital. You see, that level of relationship that they will come even talk to you. They can give a case study somewhere. A tenant came and told me, mimi nimeachwa na bwana yangu. He left the house, akaenda, and he was the one who was providing and even paying rent. I don't have rent right now. I don't know where he is. Even a case where the husband died. So if you don't have a relationship with this person in terms of, even listening to them, getting to know why they have not paid rent, getting to listen to their cases, genuine cases, of course, you will have a very hard time as a property manager. So it is important that the property manager build first a relationship with your tenant before you even ask for rent. Can I tell you the advantage of that? It is going to help you in sustaining occupancy in that house. It will be hard for you, Eric, to leave that house if we have a good relationship with you. So I know, and the more you stay in that house, the more I'm getting my fee. So if you leave, the house is empty, I'm not getting my fee.
I see.
Yeah, so it is very important.
Very important. And just before we get to the benefits of agents, I know most people wonder, if I've built my own property, nyumba za kukondisha, why don't I just do it myself? What is the value of having an agency maintain the houses for us? Just a highlight from the tip that you have given us. If you pay rent somewhere and you are unable to meet it in due time, call your agent before they call.
Yeah, it's a secret by the
So chukua hiyo tip na ukimbie nayo.
Kabisa.
It makes things even more calm.
Yes, for you.
Unakimbishwa, then unapata makufuli na kama
yeah.
What is the value? What is the benefit of having a property manager?
Good. One thing is this. First of all, this property has been built with a lot of money. The investor here has actually used a lot of money, millions of money, to come up with either apartments. We have different kinds of properties. We have apartments, we have like townhouses, we have masonettes, we have bungalows, we have, streams of single and double rooms and all that. Those are properties. And so they have they have put a lot of money and time in building those houses. So they will really need somebody to take care of that property. And the other thing is because this property owner also probably has other things that they are doing. Okay? So instead of him or her leaving other things that they are doing, the best thing is to bring in a property manager who can help them, take care of the property as they take care of other things in their life. So that make things more easier for them. The other things, and it's something that most property owners don't have, is how to deal with people, and especially tenants. So that's why you bring in an agency so that they can help you take care of the headaches that comes with the tenancy, that comes with searching for tenants, screening those tenants is one of the responsibility of a property manager. All that, it is the reason and enough reason for this property owner to look for. The other thing is also because of the accounting part of this process. There is so much that needs to be done in terms of accounting, even in paying taxes, which should be taken care by the property manager. The property manager, after doing all the correction of rent and all that, they need to also to look and to see how they can, how they can pay taxes. Because in Kenya, there is a provision of tax that comes from yeah. So those are some of the responsibilities and some of the value that the property owner will acquire the moment they get into having a property. And there's also something that they need to look for when they're looking for a property manager. One is, are they registered? We have a body in Kenya that's called EARB, Estate Agents Registration Board. Yeah, and I know we will also dwell into that as we go on. Those things that the property owner needs to look for before they bring in. One, are they registered? Number two, are they honest people? Especially, how do you find out this? By having referrals. Speak to people, let people know. Yeah, ask people if this is the right property manager. All right. And number two, after you get that, have the good reason why you need a property manager, because we also have other people who also go for caretakers instead of property managers. But caretakers will not do so much. They will not be able even to do the accounting part of it. So those are just some of the value that the property owner can have after acquiring a property manager.
Nice. Oh, nice. Let's tusaidia tenants sasa.
Hao kwanza ndio.
What is this process that they need to look into before they get into a new house?
All right. Now, first of all, they need to go and search for a house. That is the first step. And actually, these days, we have what property managers have gone an extra mile in helping people to find houses. Okay? And then you pay them a fee that is called finder's fee. Okay? So they take you to various properties and you get to pick depending on what you really need. You need a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom with internet, with what and all those things, with the swimming pool, all that, those things. And after you are satisfied that this is the house that I want to move into, the next things that you also need to check is, how is the security of that area? First of all, how is the security? Because probably there are people who come home very late. They need also to. I have a case where thieves came on Sunday actually, and they went from the first floor all the way to the next floor, and they stole so many things because they did not have the security guard on the daytime. They only have a security at night. So these thieves and on whoever there's one opportunity on Sunday. People are in church; they are actually out there, and there is no guard around. So they They got in. So those are some of the things. Yeah. So there are some of the things you need to check. That's the security, and also the utilities. Utilities, I'm talking about water, the availability of water, power or electricity. If you need Wi-Fi or internet, those things that really make you comfortable in that place. The other thing that you need to look for is the space. Are you somebody who loves space? Look for properties that have space. Number 3, don't go, for properties that have, because the more the property is packed, I would say, has everything. Like even if it's a 2-bedroom, it has 2 separate, washrooms and all that. And there is Wi-Fi, there is even solar. The more it has all those, the more it's expensive. So what is your budget? Also check on that. What is your budget? All right. Please don't go for so much that is you're going to have problems with us. Yeah. If you're not able to, pay a 20,000 rent because of your income, please, it's okay to go a little bit low so that you can have an easy time with agents.
As a person experiencing this, what is the percentage of our income that should go to housing?
I would say this. First of all, if you're married, there is the issue of bringing in the income, the two of you. Yeah. So maybe that one will put it high, but the percentage that should go there, it should not exceed half of what you're getting. If you're getting 50,000, please don't go for 25. I would say, okay, go for a little bit like 20,000 or lower. All right. Why am I saying this? Because there are other things that need to be paid. Beside the rent, you need to pay for water. These days we are paying for garbage. Kitambo we used to unazichoma pale nje. Unaenda unazichoma pale nje. These days with the technology and everything, we are paying for garbage.
We have to take care of the environment.
Yes, we are paying for electricity. We are paying for Wi-Fi. All those things, they are actually on top of rent. If rent is 20,000, you probably be paying 25,000. Look at that. So when you're factoring in the utilities and everything, please, and the rent, make sure that they don't exceed half of what you're getting. Because if it's 50,000, you're paying 25, that is rent, and if there is no utility, we're talking about 30,000. So go a little bit lower, like 20,000, so that you can get to 25, or 15, so that you can get to 20. That way, it will be easy for you and for us. Otherwise, we might be on your neck. Because the reason why we are on people's neck sometimes, because the property owner also is on your neck as a property manager. Okay. They want their money. Remember, they have invested 10 million into that property. They are like, when are we going to recover this 10 million? And we have people here who are not even paying. All right? But like I said, when you have a good relationship with your tenants, it's going to be easy for you.
Okay. So you said we check on our budget,
please.
We check on amenities, security.
Yes.
You said the issues of garbage collection.
Yes, those utilities
that have to be paid,
yes.
and other social amenities.
And even these days, we have even people who are no longer, taking like municipal council water. They have to buy the bottled water. So that's also, it's another utility that people are not even, yeah.
But just this, to touch on faith, this is on the people of belief.
Yes.
When you're looking for a house, there's some people that go an extra mile to want to know who was living here and where did they go.
Yes.
Can you expound on that?
It is very important. People are doing things in their houses. People are doing things, in closed doors, things are happening. Yeah. And so as a believer, it is important that also, even when you're getting into a new house, please, before even you bring in your items, speak a word to that house. Yes, talk to that house actually. Yes, declare the word of God and cleanse that house, cleanse that environment. Because, there are things that probably are hidden somewhere behind the cabinets and all those things. But even not only even in the house, even wherever you go, it is good to have a clean environment. And also, we all know we carry spiritual atmospheres that are, that are clean. When you get into that house, declare even dedicate that house to the Lord. Na hata ukiwa hapo ambia Mungu sikai sana hapa, natoka hapa niende kwangu. But it is my joy. Let me just say this. It is my joy to see and to hear testimonies. I have had several testimonies of. See, I told you it's good to have a relationship with people. People from you are taking care of them as tenants, and they stay with you for 2-3 years, and then they build their house, and they call you to even into opening when they're opening the
Wow.
which is very good for me. I feel like this is it. This is it.
So as a Christian, you don't just go house hunting and occupancy haraka tu hivyo.
No.
Do some due diligence.
Even not only in the house, mark territories. Even in that environment, let the devils in that area know that there is land.
And this is important because you never know who was there and what they were doing.
Yes.
You never know what they are doing, and the environment can affect you.
That's true.
It can affect you. Let's go to obligations now. What are the obligations of the property manager and also the obligations of the tenant?
Okay. Now, when the tenant moves in, there is an agreement, and I know we will also talk about. There's an agreement that they are supposed to sign, and it is important that tenants, get to go through this, agreements. They are called tenancy agreements. Do you know? They don't read these things. It is a tragedy. I have a case, like even 2 days, somebody moved out. Even before I speak on what you've asked. And because they came in, they didn't read through the contract, they signed, and they returned the contract to me. And in that contract, there's a law, or I'll say, that says, a condition that says that you're supposed to give a 1 full month notice before you move out. Why? Because of some inconveniences that you might cause. But she did not do that. And now she called me on like 20th and tell me I'm going to move out end of this month. I'm like, okay, I will not actually stop you from moving out because that is your decision. And say, okay, and I told you, you remember you signed this contract and it says 1, 2, 3 things. Now you are going to forfeit your deposit. And she cursed me. She cursed my kids. But of course, by faith, I nullified all that. And so, it is a tenant's obligation to pay rent. Because that is somebody's property. That is somebody's investment that you need to pay for. It is your responsibility, to keep every condition that is described in that agreement. And some of those conditions, there are, there is one time, one time there was a condition in that agreement that said you're not supposed to use your GCOs, these charcoal GCOs inside out. And one tenant used that GCO in their house, and they suffocated. They actually when they were the carbon monoxide was all over the house, and it was a tragedy. It was a sad state at that day. And we had to break in because they had closed in the lock inside. And that was a condition in that agreement. You see, so it is your obligation as a tenant to parent to make sure you follow those conditions so that you can be able to, live a comfortable life with everyone in that area. It is my condition, my responsibility and my obligation as a property manager to make sure that you live comfortably, that you have water, that if there is a power issue, we take care of it as fast as possible. Okay, it is the responsibility and obligation of a property owner to make sure that that property is in good condition, good shape. There is facelifting now and then to make sure that that place is actually habitable for people. It is also the responsibility of all of us, the 3 of us, to make sure that we have a good workable relationship. Otherwise, if there's gaps between the 3 of us, there's not going to be a good time for anyone.
Wow.
If the property owner is not giving me good time, I might
you also pass it
to the which is it's good to build that relationship.
On that, let's look into now a common issue, especially in the modern days, and this is in defaultment of paying of the rent arrears. What is the due process you go through? We've had instances whereby people are sending their agents fake M-Pesa messages and such kind of things. What is the process then?
All right. Now, we start by sending you your bill, or what we will call the invoice. And the bill here is telling you, is showing you that you need to pay this. In the next month, you need to pay your rent of this much, your water of this much, your garbage of this much, and if there is any other utility of this much, and also indicate if there is arrears in that invoice. So we do it, like, it's important for property managers to do this at the end of the month before the other month begins, like 5 days before. Okay, once that is done, because you're giving them time, tenants time for them to prepare to pay and to know how much they are going to pay. Then after you do that, in the agreement, remember I mentioned that the tenancy agreement, there is a condition that says that rent is payable by this day. The others will say by 5th, or not before 5th, others say by 10th, depending on how you've agreed. There are others who verbally agree with the property manager. You have said it's 5th, but mimi penye naona nalipangwa 10th. Communication, like I said. So once that is done, if it's 5th, make sure that you have paid by 5th. If you're comfortable with it, if not, communicate. Then after that, if you've defaulted and you're still not saying anything, and then the property manager sends you a first notice and reminds you, but that is on 7th, and reminds you that you're supposed to pay rent by 5th and you have defaulted. There are other agents who have included penalties. The moment you default by 5th, on 6th, you are added either 1,000 or 100. Then by 7th, then they cut it by half. If it was on 6th, it was 1,000. Then on 7th, it's 500 until you pay. If you pay by 15, then you know that the amount of the money that you're going to have released. And by the way, that money goes to the agent, not to the property owner. Those are some of the ways that they do. I don't do that because I believe in the relationship myself. So if you have defaulted by 7th, you receive the first notice. If you also have not paid, you receive the second notice on 14th. By the way, this is low here in Kenya. If you have not paid by 14th, you receive the third and the final one on 21 days. That's when now the property manager, in collaboration with the property owner, they can agree to bring in the auctioneers to recover the money. But because we also want you to still remain in that house, we will be a bit lenient. We are a bit lenient with you. I took a case somewhere of somebody who had an amount of 200,000 in arrears, and then they went away in January. 6 months later, they have not come back to their house. Even after sending them emails, even sending messages, trying to call them, their phone is off and all that. After 6 months, the property owner decided to auction the items to recover the money because the house was still occupied. Okay? So let tenants know this. Once you're given 3 notices, there's a probability of a harsh and strict measures to be taken by the property owner or the property manager to recover their money. And that's why I gave them a secret. Please communicate. Please talk to them. Talk to the property, to your agent. Let them know. There are things that will come in our lives that we have not anticipated. We did not expect them to be there, like sickness, death, and all those things. Please, talk to them. They are humans like you are, and so we'll be able to listen to you and also come up with a way. We can even agree. Wewe lipa ile kidogo kidogo utapata, even as the month goes. Nobody in his right mind will lock your house. So that is the process of rent payment. And if you default, that's what happens.
Tell us, what are the expectations that property owners have on property agencies?
Okay. All right. So, like I said before, this is an investment. it has costed the property owner a lot of money, time. He or she has invested a lot. And so it is important that between the tenant and the property agent, that we take care of that investment. All right? Yes, you're paying for that rent. It becomes your unit or your house. But remember, you're paying somebody's investment. You're like returning that money to that person for you to be able to occupy that. Okay? And so the expectation of the property owner is that that property should maintain its value, or its value goes up. This is the responsibility of both the property owner, the manager, and the agent and the tenant. All right? So how do we do this? Is first of all to make sure that we are doing supervision periodically. Like, try and come up with a schedule of how you're going to do structural, investigations or inspections. You go around that property, check to see what needs to be done, what repairs needs to be done for that property so that it can maintain its value or maximize it, not going down. And then advise the property owner on what needs to be done. If there is a crack somewhere, please alert him or alert them so that they can be able to take care of that. If there is some facelifting that needs to be done for that property, please, because one thing that a tenant will look for the moment they come to hunt for a house is we always actually say the first impression is actually from what you're seeing. The way when you meva, Eric, I can actually, be able to engage you, actually even before I even know your name, on the level of how you are dressed. So facelifting of that property, taking care of that property, will actually either attract a tenant or repel. Hata kama kuna wifi huko ndani ama ni, lakini nyumba inakaa vitu zingine huko nje, they will not actually be able, you will lose tenancy. Number two, the work of a property manager, which is expected by the property owner, is to make sure that the tenancy, there is a full occupancy. There is no apartment or any house that is vacant. Why? Because the moment the house is vacant, it loses its value. One, it loses its value because it's not, kuna vitu there are cracks, by the way. There are cracks zinakuja kwa nyumba hata kama haina mtu. Because of the heat. When it's enclosed and there is heat, haifunguliwi sana, nyumba inaanza ku either expand or something in the cracks. So value hiyo kitu itashuka. Number two, that house kama haina mtu, if it doesn't have a tenant, then it will not be bringing in income. Okay? So it is important that the property agent make sure that there is full occupancy. Okay? Number three, the work of a property manager is expected by the property owner is to make sure that the accounting part of it is well taken care of. They don't want to think of how much is being used, what and what. They need to see a full, detailed accounting, part of it. To know actually how much they are getting in, how much is getting into the government by tax, and also how much is going into maintaining the property. So that also they can also decide on what to do with the property. If the property is not bringing in anything, then they might probably decide to do something else with it. Yeah, or even change user. They can change user from residential property to making it a commercial. And make them offices. Yes. So those are just some of them.
Wow. Let's go through the renting process so that it will lead us to get into the agreement. What is the renting process?
Renting process. The letting or renting? Letting, yes. Now, there is the letting and there is the renting process. The renting process we had covered. The letting is actually what we call agency.
Okay.
Yeah? Is what we call agency. An agency has two. It has the letting and it has the sales. Okay? Selling of land, selling of properties, houses or building and all that. And even selling of machineries, it's under that. But now letting is basically for buildings. And this is both for residential and commercial and other properties. Now, you're looking for a house as a tenant. You have gotten to see one, and you are actually interested in that house. Now you get into the letting process. The letting process starts this way. It starts from the viewing, and you're interested and you're okay with the house. Number two, you have 3 documents that you're supposed to go through. One is what we call the tenant details. Okay, and I will tell you the importance of this. And people, it is important tenants to have this form. If you're not having it, it's very important to have it. Tenant detail includes all your details, okay, names and all that and all that. It also has a part where you have to put the details of the people who you are living with in that house. And I'll tell you the reason why. And number 3, it has a place where we also do the next of kin contacts and all that. Why are we doing this? Things happen in the house. Things happen, and probably, God forbid, I'm saying this is just an example. Somebody dies inside the house, and you have no details of that person's next of kin. You don't know the people that they live with. Actually, if probably there is a fire, you don't know if this person is somewhere out or inside the house. All these things are supposed to be there to help the property manager be able to reach out in case something happens. And we are saying we are not bad things happen. Number 2, have what we call the inspection checklist. You're getting into a house, please check this house. Check this house together with the property agent. Angalia kama imepakwa rangi vizuri, if everything is okay, the locks are working. Why? Because the day you're going to move out of that house, you are supposed to return the property in the same condition you received. But what shows that you took this property in the right conditions? The inspection checklist. They have the move-in condition and the move-out condition. That way you'll be able to compare and see, this ulinipea with the lock not working, so I'm not going to take care of this lock. You pay for something you've not
broken
because you never had the form. And now, after you've done that, go through the tenancy agreement like we said. All right, the tenancy agreement has all the details of, and it has 3 parts. It has the part of the roles of the property owner. The second part is the roles and the responsibility of the property agent, and that is the roles and the responsibility of the tenant. And the 3 of you has a place where you sign and agree. We have agreed on all these terms. This is what we are going to do, so that all of us can have a comfortable time together. Those 3 are the letting process. Once you've done that,
wow, amazing. And you encourage for us to be reading those
please
documents.
Do. People are signing documents without reading them, without going through them.
In the letter shida baadaye.
Sana mpaka tunatukanwa bure.
Quickly, because of time.
Yes.
Deposit. What is it for?
Yes. People call it deposit, but let me rectify that and put another word before it. It's called security deposit.
Right.
Yes. Security deposit is meant to secure the property or give security to the property owner. Because if, like I said, there's that inspection checklist. If you have damaged the house and you have refused to do the repairs with your own money so that we can refund you the deposit, then we will use your deposit to repair the house.
Repair the house. Talking of repairs, if something gets broken in the house I'm living in,
yes,
if it is for rent, it is I've rented the place. Who should foot the bill for the repair?
Thank you. I go back now to the checklist again. Was this item functioning well when you move in? And you signed that it was functioning well? Yes, the answer is yes. So if it is get damaged when you're in the house, you are the one to, as a tenant, to foot the bill, because I gave you when it is functioning. And so the best thing you can do, communicate to the property agent, tell them the cistern is broken, and they will bring in their repair guy or the plumber for that case to do the repairs and give you the bill. Number two, where you can do, come up with your own, go to your plumber or your fundi, tell them to give you, a bill. Then I come with my bill as a property, we compare, and I see that yours is actually better than mine. I'll go with yours but I'll make sure that what is installed or the item that was damaged is the same item that was there. Please have those two. You can use either those two.
I've seen a mistake most people do when moving on into a new house is moving in quickly without doing the due diligence.
Yes.
Check on all the items.
Please do.
And don't be in a hurry.
Please
so
do.
that you do not incur
Yes,
costs that
yes.
were unnecessarily
Yes,
not
yes.
yours.
That's true.
Quickly, because of time, what is the moving out procedure?
All right. Now you have been, you need to serve. In that tenancy agreement, there is a condition that says you are supposed to give a 1 month notice before you, for you to move out. Failure to which you lose your security deposit because of the inconveniences that you have given this person. We were not expecting, we are actually expecting rent, but you're giving us the moving out, letter. Okay? So you can either do the following. Call the landlord, the property agent, or even text them, tell them that you'll be moving out at the end of the month. It will be safe for you. You will, by the way, you will have your deposit back. Failure to that, you are not going to have that. So that is the moving out condition. Then the moment you move out, remember the inspection checklist, you have your copy. And all those things that I say, those forms and those agreements that I say, please have your copy. Even if you're going to capture them via your phone with the camera, have your copy. Tunabadilishanga mambo. Watu wanabadilisha, si mimi. People do change things. Unaweza badilisha.
Ukisign, toa copy yako.
Please do.
Or take a photo.
Yes, then you will have those. And then when you're moving out, the inspection checklist comes in handy. So you check all through. And then when you move out, please give the agent like 14 days for them to return your deposit. We don't have that money is invested somewhere by the property owner.
So it needs to be gathered.
Yes.
Quickly on this one, how do we avoid the disagreements between the tenant, the property manager, and the agency?
Great. Make sure that each one of you is doing their part.
All right.
Each one of you is doing their. If it's the property owner, please take care of the integrity of that property. Please take care of the structural and everything else. If it's for the agent, please make sure that you're not even harassing these people. Please make sure that you have built a good relationship with them. But there are limits. There are people who will take advantage of that relationship. Please also have limits so that they don't take advantage of you, and you will have 6 months without rent because you understand them. Please also take care of that. And the tenant also, please take care. Please do your part. Play your responsibility very well. That way you will have no disagreement. Like we gave them a secret. Communication is key, even in this area. When you communicate, I'm double sure, because I'm human, like I said, and you're human like me. I will understand. I'm also going through the same things that you're probably going through. Yeah. So there's understanding when there's communication.
Wow. Finally, what is the difference between management and agency?
Great. Management is actually now, it starts the moment the letting process ends. The letting process is whereby now you bring in the tenant, and it starts from marketing the property. You as a property agent, if there is the vacancy or the property is vacant, please market it everywhere and whenever you can and however you can. And then when you get a good tenant, there is also what we call the tenant screening, which is the form that I told you about, the details of the tenant. By the way, we also do the screening itself. I'll call your employer. Or I will call the landlord, wherever you're coming from. I'll call them and ask them, is this person somebody I can, allow in my property or not? Yeah, iko. Because we have people who, they're actually running away. And so they're running away from not paying like 6 months from somebody else. And then, so you remember, they will have the same habit when they come into your property. So it's good to do due diligence even as a property agent. And lastly, the management process now comes in from invoicing to rent collection to follow up to receipting. And then the process now repeats itself. And if the tenant is moving out now, the letting process starts again. So that is it.
Wow. Thank you so much for your great insights and wisdom on property management, and we know from on here mambo yetu na pahali tunaishi yatakuwa sawa. We've understood so much. To give you an opportunity for your parting shot, also as you give our viewers your phone number, just in case of problems they are going through.
That's true. Thank you very much, Eric, for having me. And I'm hoping that our tenants and our property owners have actually gotten some few insight here and there. Number one, let the agents not take advantage of the property owners. We have a capping in Kenyan law that we are supposed to do like 7.5% of the total collection of rent. There are people who are doing actually 10% and even above. That is actually taking advantage of the property owners. And let me tell you, Hosea 4:6, my people, because of lack of, this is it. Property owners don't have that knowledge that it is 7.5%. Please make sure that you get to find out it is 7.5% or lower, not above that. That way you're not going to be taken advantage of. Number two, we have in Kenya we have 4.6 million tenants. Okay? Yes, 4.6 million tenants. Most of them in Nairobi, and then secondly we have them in Kambo. That means property management will be required. So it is our responsibilities to work, the three of us, the property owner, the property manager, and the tenant, for us to have a habitable nation. Because if we are not, those are so many people, 4.6 million people, and even more. And so it is good that we have a good relationship so that we can, have a good time here on earth.
Wow. Amazing. Your phone number?
Yes. Please, you can reach me via 0797 08 3388. 0797 08 3388. I'll be so happy to even do consultations and even help where I can, and also receive jobs.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yes.
We thank God for the gift of life, and we thank God for the opportunity of which we have been able to have this wonderful day. And may all the glory and all the honor go back to his holy name. A special appreciation also goes to Bishop Dr. Thomas Mode and Reverend Phyllis Mode. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your goodwill. Tunashukuru. Asanti sana sana. I want to thank the people producing the Uchao Don't Break Show. We have Peter Maora, Elvis Sifuna, and Doreen Mwende. Mungu awabariki sana. Together with the entire Prayer Cave TV staff, your labors in the Lord are not in vain. And to you, our viewer, we love you, we appreciate you, and we pray for you every day.